Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Barakadam. Peace and blessings and salutations, as always, to you sincere Akim, Wa'akwat, listening and learning, keeping the faith and diligence of our Lord Yahushai, occupying the prophecies until all is fulfilled, and Lord will we are redeemed. It's the brother Azariah back again in the spirit, going into this right here. NYC office blindsides workers by forcing facial recognition scans without warning. And as it says in Isaiah 10:1, woe unto them who decree unrighteous decrees. And that's Esau, Edom. See, what we're witnessing right now is this devil, all right, because he now has laws on the books that's pretty much going to usher in this fourth industrial revolution, in which he's going to merge man with technology. Okay, and this is a broader push towards the NWO. This is why you see the AI and robotics is becoming more prominent, and they're rapidly moving to implement this new system. So what you have now in NYC is that you have these devils that are forcing facial recognition, which is what's the I'm trying to remember the name of the exact term that they use. It's like a brain computer interface, you know what I'm saying? That's one of them. But it's basically biometrics, all right? Because now they're calling for everybody to identify themselves, right? Even online now, you know what I'm saying? I think August 13th now, to access YouTube or the YouTube algorithm and AI thinks that you're below a certain age, then they can now ask for your driver's license, basically to ask you to identify yourself, all right? So this all goes into biometrics and, knowing who you are, in broader society, all right? So these devils are forcing workers in the NYC office building to basically facially identify themselves, biometrically identify themselves, put themselves in the system without warning. All right. So these unrighteous decrees are coming down. The devil is using his laws and his decrees to forward his craft, as it says in Daniel 8:25. By his policy, he shall cause craft to prosper. So reading right here, they were not ready for this close-up. A garment district clothing company is forcing workers to submit to facial recognition scans for building access. And I remember years ago, and brothers bring it out from time to time, but over there in Sweden right now, in some U.S. cities, all right, people have the chip already, all right? You have early adopters of the chip to where they use the chip to, go into the building, open their car doors, lock their homes, be able to, clock into work and different things like that. So people are already using it, but as we always say, starting with the elders and apostles on down, it's going to come a time where they're going to mandate the chip, okay? Because that's ultimately the goal in which they want. They want to be underneath the skin. Right now they're external, all right? That's why RFK Jr. has been talking about those wearables that he wants everybody to be fitted with by 2029. But again, you have early adopters of the chip that are already using it, and the infrastructure is being set up right now to make that system a reality, okay? So yeah, man, I mean, they're saying that in order, to access the building, you have to basically comply to having your facial data scanned, okay? Outraging staff who ripped the mandate, right? See, so this is a mandate, and this came without warning. They didn't give a 2-week notice. They didn't give any type of prior warning. They just came into work one day and then boom. All right, if you want to get into the building, you got to do this. So this shows you right here, man, that we are in that time where the MOTB, the charagma, and we can get that, is going to come down the pipe. And everybody's going to be faced with this, you see? If you don't comply to Esau's wicked decrees, then you're not going to be able to work. You're not going to be able to receive benefits. You're not going to be able to keep your home, keep your car, nothing. All right. He's pretty much going to cut you off from life itself if you don't comply with his wicked agenda. And it's all about control. And it says here, so they rip the mandate as invasive and question how their biometric data will be stored and used. Employees at Isaac Morris Limited, a midtown apparel company that produces licensed merchandise for brands like Disney and artists like Lady Gaga, got a surprise email last week from their IT department saying the old swipe card entry system was being replaced by facial recognition. An employee at the company who wished to remain anonymous told the Post, staff were told someone would soon be coming around to capture a scan of their faces. The message said, and mind you how they didn't ask nobody, is this what you want? They didn't ask anybody, is this okay? They said, listen, F you. If you want to continue to work here, if you want to continue to get inside this building, you're going to comply with this. Okay, so, these devils are showing you how they really get down. All right? Esau's in that time where, you know what I'm saying, he's about to get very, very cutthroat, man. All right? They just came in and said, well, this is what this is what you got to do now. We're not going to swipe no cards. We're not going to do no punch-in. Now you got to get your face scan. All right? There was no updated policy, no consent form, and no exceptions. Exactly. All right? Nobody asked for this. Nobody was like, we should all do facial recognition scans. All right? But nonetheless, they forcing it on them. Just a heads up that the change was coming. The only alternative method they noted was entering a numeric code at the door, which most people find less convenient than a quick scan, see? So it's all going to be in the name of convenience, all right? Because they're going to make this new system so quick and so streamlined that punching in numbers and, pulling out a card and all that, very soon, all that's about to be outdated, okay? The new way to pay is going to be to scan your palm or scan your eye, all right? That's going to be the new wave. So this right here shows you that the MOTB, pursuant to Revelation 13 and 16 on down, is right around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Because if they're doing this in NYC and, as brothers bring it out, man, whatever they do in New York or LA, you know what I'm saying? Because those are like the two major testing hubs that Esau like to use for his agendas. Whatever they do first in these cities, that's what's going to come to the rest of the nation. So if they already doing this in NYC, then you already know NYC very soon is about to be on this whole, is about to mandate this whole system. Because keep in mind too, they have a so-called migrant crisis, right? To where they need to identify who's in New York because you got all this crime, stuff is out of control and you know what I'm saying? So this right here is going to be a call for what? Peace and safety. Oh yeah, well, we need to biometrically identify everyone so we can live in a more safer society, man. Okay, so this is how the devil gets down. These are the wiles of the devil. It says we don't even do anything super important. There's literally no reason to be doing this other than to harass the employees. They added, noting that employees largely work in administrative roles, customer service, and basic operations, and don't understand why facial recognition is suddenly necessary. Well, the reason why it is now necessary is because you see, it's not just about this one job. This is a whole system that's being put in place. Understand? So yeah, they might start small scale with these certain small companies or whatever, but again, very soon, you know what I'm saying, this is going to be the norm across all of America, really all around the world, because we see that the whole world is moving towards biometric identification. Okay? So let's go to Revelation 13. All right? Let's go into it. Revelation 13 chapter. In verse 16. And he causeth all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Okay, so all people that are in society are going to be caused to get this thing, whether you small or great, whether you the president or whether you common person, free, rich and poor, free and bond. All right, so whether you're a free person out here in society or you locked up in jail. We've also gone into lessons showing you that they're also going to mandate biometrics and the chip for prison inmates as well, and that's going to be a stipulation for them to get out of jail early, to finish their sentence and things of that nature. All right, so the scriptures don't lie, man. Like, we're in the time, like John the Revelator saw the future, and he saw the days that we're living through right now. All right, free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, let's go into the word mark there in that verse. This is Strong's G5480. Salakia.
Strong's G5480. Charagma. Charagma.
You see, so the Greek word for mark is charagma. Okay, and let's go into that real quick. Go into the outline of biblical usage. What does it mean? A stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Mashiach. All right, and you gotta be in the spirit with the blue letter because it does go off. You know what I'm saying? The blue letter does have certain, clerical errors in it, but through the spirit, we know what it's talking about. All right, the mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. Okay, so this mark right here, this charagma, okay, he's gonna, make an incision into you, man. Okay, but this is something that Esau, he's gonna mandate this thing. Okay, and it's all gonna be tied to who you are. It's all going to be tied to your biometrics so that he can know exactly who he has in his system, man. Because right now, as he says, there's a lot of undocumented people that are receiving benefits. And, this is what the whole Doge thing was about, right? Cleaning up or making the government more efficient. You see what I'm saying? And the way they're going to make it more efficient is by allocating benefits to people that opt in to the system, opt into this B system. All right, if you don't choose to opt into it, you're going to be without, plain and simple. All right, and this mark is going to come in the form of the RFID micro C-hip, okay, which they're going to make an incision, which is going to leave a mark, okay, into your right hand, which people already have, and there's the Neuralink out as well, okay, in which they're going to, put a chip inside of your brain. All right, Klaus Schwab, the WEF, American politicians, European politicians, they've all been talking about it recently. Okay, so that's the final form of what they want to do. All right, Yuval Harari, Klaus Schwab's right-hand man, he said that the ultimate goal is to what? Have surveillance underneath the skin. How are they going to do that? By putting a chip inside you. Just like how they chip your pets and they know where your pet is at all time. Like if your dog runs away, they can find your dog. Okay, they want to do the same thing with human beings because they say that you're cattle. All right, the elites of Esau, they look at the general population of people as cattle. Okay, animals that must be controlled, man. You see? So through the spirit, we we see where this is going. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, and when you see articles such as this news come out, this just confirms to us that, hey, the mark is right around the corner. Okay, the mark is right around the corner, man. Like Yahweh Shemel Shai ain't playing. Also showing you that the doors of mercy about to close as well. Let's get Psalms 64. Psalm 64 and verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O Yahweh, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right. So the insurrection of the workers of iniquity is secret counsel of the wicked. The wicked, according to the scriptures, are the elites of Esau, Edom. Really, Edomites in general, but in particular the elites of them. Okay, going back to Amalek, which the scriptures also say is what? The first of the nations. So they're the chief among all the nations upon the earth. Okay, this is why they control every damn thing. The so-called small hats, they control all your industries, all your banking. You know what I'm saying? They pretty much run on, you know what I'm saying, all the governments. You see what I'm saying? And they give money to whoever they want to do, you know, their will. Okay? So King David said, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. And this charagma, that's a part of the secret counsel of the wicked, because they've already been planning these things for decades. All right. I did a lesson the other day going into how you know, Esau, you know, basically pretty much lies about everything, man. Okay, even how he plans the news. And there was a video from like 1968 going into the microchip, how they want to implant everybody with microchips, man. 1968. So this thing has been in the works for a very long time, and we're at the point now where these devils are about to roll these things out. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they got the Starlink, you know, which can pretty much you know, locate you anywhere where you are in the earth. You know what I'm saying? They got the 6G coming out. All these things are going to work in tandem with this beast system. All this AI, the robotics, everything is already set up. You see? Verse 3 says, who whet their tongue like a sword. To whet means to sharpen. All right? Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. And when you come into work and somebody tell you that, yo, you got to get a biometric face scan to continue to work here, yo, those are bitter words. Those are grievous words. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we ain't asked for this. And see, the time is going to come where even, you know, brothers that are in the truth, man, look, we're going to have to completely quit this system cold turkey. Because, hey, marvel not if one day, well, hey, it is going to happen. One day you going to walk into your job and they're going to tell you, yeah, well, you got to get a biometric palm scan, or, you know, you got to get your face scan or your eyeballs, whatever. You know what I'm saying? At that point, hey, man, brothers going to have to, you know, just completely, you know, lean on Yahweh by Shemel Shai, man, because this system is here. And, you know, we're not a part of it, man. You know what I'm saying? We're not a part of this world. So we know the time is coming where we're going to have to separate completely. You know what I'm saying? And just walk on faith and not by sight, as it is written. Verse 5 says, Salakia, verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. And this thing right here is a snare. All right, because they're, as it says in Revelation 13, that he causeth all. All right, that's how he's going to cause you. He's basically going to give you an ultimatum and say, you can do this or you can do that. But if you don't do what I want you to do, then you're not going to be able to live. All right, that's how he's going to cause you. Okay? They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. And that's Esau, man. Okay? That's all these devils do, is continuously devise iniquity. You know what I'm saying? And they have no shame in it. Psalms 10. Psalms 10 and 1. Why standest thou far off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesses the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. You see that? So the scriptures say in Psalms 10:5 that his ways are always grievous, man, and that he boasteth of his heart's desire. Okay, so he's pretty much telling you, you know what I'm saying, what he's about to do, what he's setting up, which is a digital technocracy, a surveillance state upon the earth in which he's going to become God. And we've already, you know, shown the videos of where, you know, these devils have came out and told you that, listen, if anybody tries to stop us from being gods on the earth, then basically, in so many words, we're going to take you out. You know what I'm saying? Which is what they're preparing for as well. You know what I'm saying? Mass death. Because there are going to be rebellions behind this system being set up. There are going to be seditions in which Esau, he's going to be justified in coming down with his military, with, you know what I'm saying, which is his sword. And he's going to put a lot of people to death and, you know, lock a lot of people up as well. So we're in some very dangerous times, man, to where, you know, things from day to day are not going to be so static. You know what I'm saying? Things are going to be fluctuating constantly, man. All right. So this is why it's more important now to be in the spirit, you know, more than ever. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we're in a time where our faith is being tried. And the time is going to come where, you know, Revelation 3:10 is going to come into effect. The hour of temptation in which, you know, we're going to have to make a choice. Stand with this world or forsake this and stand with Yahweh Basham Shai. You know what I'm saying? Those of us that are in this truth already, we've made our minds up a long time ago that we're not for this world. You know what I'm saying? That's why we came out of the world, you see? So the test is here, brothers. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we had to stand firm. Stand firm in that day. All right? Because what are you going to do when your job come and tell you, you know what I'm saying, you ain't going to get paid unless you get a facial recognition scan. All right? But that's the devil for you. You know what I'm saying? You know, you have to trust in that day that the Lord is going to provide, as he already is doing for us, you know? Let me go here as well. Yeah. AI is coming for entry-level jobs. BG says Gen Z may not be safe no matter how well they learn to use it. So people right now think that, oh, you know, I have job security, you know, I'm a nurse or I'm working in IT or whatever the case. But look, man, all these jobs are about to be going real soon. You know, the scriptures already tell you that the grinding, as a matter of fact, I don't even want to butcher it, man. Let's get it. The grinder cease. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, right now, it's hard to, you know, get a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are applying to hundreds, thousands of jobs and maybe only get, you know, 1 to 2, 5 max callbacks. So that's these devils doing what? They're shutting down the system. You know what I'm saying? They're going to make it to where you're going to be without work. You're not going to receive benefits from the system unless you take his mark, all right? They're going to leave people high and dry, vulnerable. Then they're going to creep in and give you an ultimatum. And that's how they're going to cause you, all right? So this is Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, the grinders of the workers, all right? Because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So the scriptures prophesy of a time where there's going to be no more work. Isaiah the 19th chapter also says the same thing, that there shall be no more work for Egypt, that the head or tail, branch or rush may do. This is spiritual Egypt, America, Babylon the Great right here, man. Okay? So when you see this right here, this is biblical prophecy being fulfilled to where there is going to be no more work because these devils are going to implement the AI and the robotics to take your jobs. You see, because robots and AI don't need benefits. You see, robots and AI don't need a break. Robots and AI don't need vacation. They don't need a 401k. They don't need these things that human beings need. So this is why they're hastily looking to phase human beings out and implement the robotics and the AI into this new system. So it says right here, billionaire Microsoft co-founder BG says the ability to use AI tools is both fun and empowering, and he encourages Gen Z to embrace it early. But whether that adoption is enough to save graduates from the pace of workplace disruption remains unclear. In response, applicants are already shifting their strategy. Microsoft co-founder BG has advice for recent graduates. Embrace AI tools, but don't expect any stability when it comes to the job search. See? So, you got young adults coming out of college right now, in their early 20s, and we see it on TikTok, going into the workplace, they applying for jobs, and there are none, as we just read in Ecclesiastes 12. This is what is happening in this land, man. And the fact that BG is speaking on it, it shows you that these elites are all behind these layoffs and these jobs closing down, the economy going bad, because they control this shit. You know what I'm saying? They control all of it. All right. So there is no future here in Babylon the Great. The mirth of the land is gone. The mirth of the land is dying. Okay. That's why everybody right now is on crash out time, man, because there's really nothing to make people happy. Everybody's going through it. As it says in 2 Ezra 8:50, that many great miseries shall befall those that dwell in the latter time, because they have walked in great pride. People are being humbled right now, okay? And it's also prophesied that in the last days, people will be humbled, man, because just look at how proud people was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, before the CV19 popped off. Everybody was proud as hell, man. Now, people, are generally in a down spirit because they ain't making it like how they used to make it. You know what I'm saying? And it's all from the Lord. But he's using Esau to bring these things forth, right? So he's basically telling Gen Z, like, look, yo, you cook, okay? You cook. It ain't going to be no work for you. You need to embrace AI. Basically meaning that, you going to need to embrace this fourth industrial revolution, which is going to be the new world in which they want, where was I at? But whether that adoption is enough to save graduates from the pace of workplace disruption remains unclear. In response, applicants are already shifting their strategy. Microsoft co-founder BG has advice. Okay, so like I read that already. Gates said smart systems have generally unearthed opportunities that are fun and empowering. However, that may not mean ambitious college graduates will land their dream jobs just by using AI. It's still a tough job market despite understanding these applications. And there is no job market, man. There are no jobs. Unless you're gonna do like manual labor or something like that, that's really it right now. But even that's about to be gone because they're gonna use robots to replace manual workers. You see? So this world is fading away, man. Okay. Yeah, all the entry-level jobs like internships and paid apprenticeships and things like that, those things are no more because AI can now do these basic things that you would have to train somebody and pay somebody how many dollars an hour to learn to do these things. Now AI can do that for free. And again, AI don't need no benefits. You understand? Yeah, it says 49% of U.S. Gen Z job hunters believe AI has reduced the value of their degrees. So here it is, right? You go to school, get a 4-year degree, which is really worthless now because everybody got a degree. You know what I'm saying? Like the market is oversaturated with degrees. You know what I'm saying? It meant something at one time because everybody didn't go to college. You know what I'm saying? So back in like the 60s or the 70s, if you went to college and got a degree, you stood out from most other people because it wasn't common for people to have a degree back then. But now everybody has a degree. Everybody's in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. So if you and 100 other people apply to the same job, what's gonna differentiate you from everybody else, especially if you're entry level. Like if you're just coming out of college or if you're just getting started in the job market, yeah, you cook. Because they can just say, well, we ain't gotta consider nobody. We can just use this AI and just streamline it. You know. So yeah, we're definitely in a brand new world where these elite devils, man, they're coming down with that great wrath. All right, on top of tariffs. Yeah, America's done, man. All right, let's get this last one to close out. Turkey says Muslim countries must be united against the small hats Gaza takeover plan. So of course we see that the Charagma is being set up, the MOTB is being ushered in, and of course we know that World War III is not going to jump off full scale until the mark comes. You know what I'm saying? That prophecy has to take place first, then World War III, and then it's going to come the end. Yahushua is going to return, and he's going to put down the heathen. You know what I'm saying? But we see that as these devils are rolling out their fourth industrial revolution, war overseas is also getting more intense. You know what I'm saying? To where these small hats, they're pretty much like the focus of the war right now. You know what I'm saying? Because they're over there starving out them people in Gaza, and now they talking about Satan Yahoo. Now he talking about going to Gaza and just completely occupying it, taking it over, which has been the plan all along. And if you've been following that whole thing since the October 7th event, then you know that these devils have always had the plan to go in Gaza and take it over for the resources, for the strategic location, and because they don't want to have people who they deem as less than them living in their land. You know what I'm saying? So there's a complete takeover going on. But now you have calls from Turkey, right, which is prophesied in Ezekiel 38th chapter, that Turkey would be joined to Gog and Magog. You know what I'm saying? That they're going to be joined to Russia and the rest of the BRICS nations, and they're going to come against the West. You know what I'm saying? That's prophesied as well, man. Okay? So it says here, the OIC urged world powers and the United Nations Security Council to, quote, assume their legal and humanitarian responsibilities and to take urgent action to stop Israel's Gaza City plan. Muslim nations must act in unison and rally international opposition against Israel's plan to take control of Gaza City, Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan said on Saturday after talks in Egypt. Regional powers, Egypt and Turkey, both condemned the plan on Friday. Ankara has said it marked a new phase in what it called Israel's genocidal and expansionist policies, while calling for global measures to stop the plan's implementation. So what do this sound like right here to you? All right, didn't our Lord Yahushua tell us in the last days that there shall be wars and rumors of wars, nation rising against nation? We seeing all these things happen in real time. All right, I want to get trying to see what this particular point I want to get is at. Yeah, right here. Muslim nations must act in unison and rally international opposition against the hell. Yeah, it says Muslim nations must act in unison. All right, so these Muslim nations are going to come together, and they're going to come against the small hats. Really, the world is going to come against the small hats, and also against Babylon the Great, because America is backing the small hats. But let's go to Ezekiel, it's like 2nd Ezra chapter 15. All right, because we told you that this would come up in the news. You know what I'm saying? This is 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 28. Behold, in horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east. Doesn't it say in Revelation 16 chapter that when the river Euphrates is dried up, that's to make way for the kings of the east? Who are the kings of the east? Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Russia, China, Japan, North Korea, India, nations such as that. All right? and many more that's going to be joined to them. 29, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots. Okay, meaning that they're going to be ready for war. All right, that they're going to be built up for war. They're going to have troops ready. They're going to have their tanks ready. They're going to have all their military equipment ready to come against the enemy. All right. And the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians. The Carmanians are the modern day Iranians. Okay, Salakia. All right. Carmania is an ancient name for Iran. Raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them. So it's prophesied that Iran, they're going to join forces with the dragons of Arabia. Okay, so in due time, these are things that you're going to see pop up in the news. And it's referencing to this exact same prophecy right here that we're reading. And with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. The modern day Assyrians are the Americans, the Babylonians, okay? Because America, like I said, is involved in this Israel-Gaza war, okay? And they're talking about Iranian sleeper cells on American soil and all this and that. America is already under invasion. America is surrounded right now. Then they say, like a couple days ago, there was a Russian nuclear submarine that was off the coast of California or something like that. So these other nations are heavily watching America. They sending drones over here. They got spy balloons set up. They got informants inside of America finding out what's going on. So it's only a matter of time before this place gets taken. Okay? And that's going to happen very soon. Verse 31, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Okay? So this is that this was going on. They calling for an uprising against the small hats, man. And this shows you as well that there's going to be war draft soon. Okay? Because this event right here over there in Gaza, America and Israel, they're not going to be able to handle that on their own. So they're going to have to bring back conscription. Because Russia doing the same thing. North Korea, they doing, war draft. India going to do the same thing. Iran is going to call up their forces. So all these nations are going to come together, man. So they going to call on you or your children to go out there and die in these wars, man. And that's prophesied as well in 2nd Ezra 16, where it says that the women shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, because they're going to die in the wars. You know what I'm saying? So we're in a time of great blood that's about to envelop the earth, man. Many are about to be taken in a great number. So, yeah, with that, Lord willing, this was edifying through the Rakah Kadash, call Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, Shalom to the elect, Kom Yashala, Wa Babu Bo.